Hey everyone, welcome back to the Our Society Experiment and this week's and really the final Making the Movement for 2018. Today I just wanted to kind of take a brief moment just to kind of go off the cuff and just do a quick year in review. What we've learned so far, where we've come, where we're going, and just kind of really recap the year. At the time of the filming here, it's November 21st right now, and we're fresh off the elections. I've kind of had a week or two to kind of digest and kind of compose and really just wind down from the kind of sprint that we've been doing for the last 2 or 3 months. So, let's talk about what we did. So. The idea with our society started, just as a kitchen table idea. I was sitting with my wife and we just wrote on a postcard this kind of deepening of local elections, and it spawned off from there. This is about 2 years ago we've been working on it. And so just to recap what we did in 2018, when we entered in January, we were about halfway done developing the platform. We launched initially for this kind of pre-beta launch in April with three some congressional candidates, Peter Jacob, Lindsey Brown, and Javon Walker. And so that went well. It was kind of like a first kind of dipping our feet, getting our toes wet. Then we went back to development, focused more on the local candidate aspect, tightened up some features, and then launched with the local candidates. And I'll kind of give you all the details in our impact report, which we'll also do in a video format. But we had 15 candidates who used the platform. We had several hundred citizen users. We have some really great data that we learned that I'm excited to share. So overall, it was a really positive experience. I mean, at the end of the day, of course, we would have liked to have more people using the platform, and that kind of points to some of the failures, which I'll get into in a little bit. But we created something, and I think that's really what I take away from this experiment is we had an alternative vision for the future, a way things could be better for citizens, and in a nonprofit structure, right? In a way of conceptualizing alternative visions of good outside of a for-profit model, and that's something we really wanted to do with our society, and we did it to some extent with our beta platform, and it's given us a lot of information to move forward with. So overall, really, really positive. We've made some great connections. Prior to starting our society, myself and the team members, but I know I've been doing a lot of the kind of outreach, had no real kind of political connections here in the state, and I am happy to say that I've built a deep network of activists, of candidates, of government employees, people who just were so open and so helpful to kind of just be a part of the program, whether it's supporting us, using the platform as a citizen user, giving us advice and consultation. The list is too long. We'll make sure we have a special kind of section in the impact report of thank yous. But for the time being, it just really was an incredible experience to see how many people in our state of New Jersey were interested in the idea of improving our local election system. So again, it was just a really positive experience. Some areas of improvement, certainly we didn't get the usership we would have wanted to, and that could be kind of attributed to a number of things. Our Google AdWords did very well. Our social media advertising did not do well, and that's also budgetary. We just didn't really have a budget. So we had a handful of donors, which we really appreciated. And I'll get into the finances in detail in the impact report. But myself and my wife Tressa, put in a large amount of the money to kind of fund the platform, and that's fine. We wanted to do it, but we weren't really able to generate a lot of capital through citizen donations, especially during the beta. So we were kind of limited to what we could do, especially at that tail end. And then personal circumstances happened, of course. For a long period of time, I was working on our society kind of as the main focus, and then we had some shifts in my for-profit business, and that required me to kind of dive back into that in a more full-time position. So time became a limiting factor. I mean, as is the case with the volunteer organization typically. And so definitely, areas of improvement would have been fundraising, social media, that and our YouTube channel. If you want to give me any feedback to why you haven't subscribed yet or why you don't think people are subscribing, it'd be super sweet if you left that in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button, because I don't know, and really I'm not from a YouTube influencer background. This was kind of just our way of doing it. Our thought. So just thinking out loud about what we've done with our videos, our thought was to kind of document the process in kind of this manner where it's look, hey, I'm someone who doesn't know much about politics, but I have an idea for a solution, so I'm going to make it happen, kind of, and just kind of go through this kind of learning experience and documenting the whole thing. Off the top of my head, maybe it was too much about me. I was really the face of the organization, despite having other people involved. I was doing the majority of the content, the majority of your activism and outreach. So maybe it was too much about Ron, which was never intended to be. It's just how it worked out with people's time and ability to commit. So maybe that's it. Maybe we need a different format. Maybe it's just not that exciting. Maybe local election reformation and improving society through structural innovation isn't something that's really jiving with people right now. I don't know. So one thing we definitely have to improve on is our social media outreach and our content outreach. How are we going to frame this in a better way? Because obviously the idea is sound, right? Free and open, transparent local elections, having a platform with all the candidates in one space, having it free for all the candidates, having it free for the users, and then building in functionality to make it easier and more convenient for you and myself and every other citizen in the state to get to know their local candidates. I mean, it's a no-brainer. This is a service that would be a tremendous boon to society. The question is, how do we frame it to be an engaging experience? And that's something that we kind of have a lot to think about and a lot to kind of brainstorm on how we can do that. We'll be sending out a user survey next week, so I hope you can check it out and fill out some information if you checked out the platform. And again, so that's kind of, I think, just some off-the-cuff kind of things. It's been a really, really incredible experience, I have to say, and I want to thank you from the depths of my heart. I just really appreciate you being a part of it. You watching these videos, you seeing our social media posts and liking and following and sharing. We couldn't have done it without you. It's been certainly a fledgling project, but I really have high hopes. I think our impact report is going to show some really, how about this? I know our impact report is going to show some really interesting statistics that are going to make most people think twice about the state of local elections. We've got some great data from our efforts. And we're going to take that data and we're going to go move forward in 2019. I can tell you 2019 will definitely be a really significant year for our society. There's a ton of potential directions on the table right now on how we can kind of go about this, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it. It's going to be something that I'm really excited about, and I'm still fully committed to. Our society at its core, remember, we built this free and open election platform, but at its core, our society is an organization dedicated to systemic reformation, and that means that thinking outside the box, quote unquote. I hate to use a cliche phrase, but imagining alternatives outside of the current regimes of thought, outside of the current singular market economy, outside of the current laws of property and contract, outside of the current ways of handling elections, thinking of ideas and solutions outside of that paradigm and kind of influencing society to transform. There's almost this pseudo. If I can go a little off topic, it's almost like a pseudo-awakening I feel that I've experienced personally, and also a lot of the people I've met and connected with have been experiencing. So it's really reaffirming our purpose here, that we're not alone in the desire for transformation, the desire for transcendence beyond the current. And economic inequality is so massive. Opportunity is becoming even more siloed. There's a tremendous the pattern that we're heading on is really interesting, and I think it presents tremendous opportunity for change. And I think now is the time. So I'm happy to be a part of it. Whatever small or large role I can play, I hope our society has given you hope for a better future and given you a vision of alternative way of doing things, and I hope that as we continue, we'll continue to receive your support, and I hope that that's something that you can be a part of it in whatever extent that might be, whether it's being through a donor. You can donate at oursociety.org. You can just subscribe to our social media channels. You can see them all below in the description, our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, our YouTube, obviously. And any feedback you have, again, is just always welcome. I've been saying it since the beginning, Our Society is our collective project. So again, thank you so much. 2018 has been one of the best years of my life, and I owe it to you guys, and I owe it to all of you for just being a part of this experiment with us. So thank you. This is signing out for 2018. I'm looking forward to 2019. We're going to have some exciting new content, possible new directions, and really continue on the focus of institutional reformation. So thanks again. We'll see you guys next time.